Hello and welcome to Vibe Cafe, a show where we give our hot takes on spontaneous and controversial conversations and again guarantee you maximum entertainment. My name is Tara, Larian in the
Hi,
studio.
I'm Larian.
How you
Hi,
doing?
how are you?
You giving me this
Boss
CC?
chick.
I mean, I don't even know what to call
Boss
this, but
chick.
you look
Slick
amazing.
boss.
Yes,
Thank you.
you
You
look
look
like that young boss
great.
that
Love the
everybody wants to
yellow
work
on your
with.
skin tone. Oh
Thank
my
you.
god, it's
Seems
given.
yellow is your favorite color.
Yes, mustard actually.
Okay. I know
How'd you
you.
know that?
And I just know. I just
Oh,
know.
that's so cool.
Yes, excited to do the show today, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I
it's
am.
going to be really, really
Yes,
amazing.
we're having a very controversial
Conversation,
conversation.
yes.
It's something that lots of people can
Relate
relate
to,
to,
yeah.
myself, yourself, and even
course.
the viewers, and we'll
Yep.
get into all of that. Apart from the topic of the day, we're also going to be playing some games, to entertain you, and we'll
Yeah.
be talking about a very interesting film as well. So do stay with us. We'll be back right after this break. This is Vibe Cafe. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. This is Vibe Cafe, and if you're just joining us today, we are going to be having a very interesting conversation that many people can relate to. Myself, Tara, and
Yes.
probably if you're Nigerian, you might have experienced
Definitely.
this. Today, we're talking about horrible bosses,
Bosses.
and maybe that's why I'm dressed like a boss chick.
Right.
But I mean, everyone at some point or another have worked with someone that was just like,
Yeah.
a pain. And that's what we're going to be talking about.
Have you?
Have you personally?
Right? I mean, I haven't. Right? I mean, I wouldn't use the word horrible.
Okay.
I have worked with a boss. I've had a boss that made me cry.
That's horrible.
Right?
Don't be nice.
Okay.
That's
I'm a nice
horrible.
person. But yeah, I have worked with someone. I've had a boss that made me cry, and I mean, you can tell what that does to someone. You don't want to be that kind of a boss.
Yeah.
You really do not want to be that kind of boss. And to think that he wasn't exactly the last boss. You know how in an organization you could have like series of bosses, like your immediate boss and then the overall boss and whatnot. So it wasn't the overall boss. It was our direct boss.
Okay.
You know, the one that's supposed to make us feel better when the
Like a
overall boss, do you
department
understand?
head.
You get it.
Okay.
Our department head at the time, of course, I'm not going to call names. I'm not. This is just us having a conversation about horrible bosses. He was putting everyone against each other.
Okay. How do you mean?
He will tell you a certain thing, tell the other person a different story. Maybe if there was an issue at department, right? And you go to him with this, he's going to make it seem like you came to him to report the other person. Instead of
Right.
letting him know that this is a concern of mine to make my work easy, please help me do this. You might want to help me speak to this person because I don't want to have to speak to this person so that it doesn't turn into a fight. You know, you go to your boss with such a concern, and what he's going to do is call the person that you've come to complain about and change the story.
So
He
literally just making the work
putting
environment
heads,
toxic
yes,
for everybody.
putting everyone's heads like it was a disaster. And eventually, when the overall boss found out and called all of us in the departments to for a meeting, everyone cried. Actually, not just me. Like everyone cried. Apparently, everyone had been experiencing like different things with this person. It was
Wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I also
What
have
about you?
experienced a similar thing with, I think at every organization I have worked for or worked with,
Oh, that's sad.
there's been that one boss that is just unbearable. But the one that stands out the most was, I think, my first job when I came to Lagos. So I studied accounting
Right.
in university. So when I graduated, I was like, okay, let me get an accounting job. This is what I studied, even though I wasn't very passionate about it. So I got an accounting job and I was working there, and the guy made my life hell
What did you do?
to the point where, normally when it's December, you get like a a
Bonus?
bonus,
Yeah.
and he didn't give me that.
You in
and he was
particular?
owing me 2 months' salary, as though it wasn't bad enough. He had promised he was going to pay, and I was going to travel for the holiday, right? So I went, and I was just going to ask if I would get paid because I was going the next day, and this man locked me in the compound and said I wasn't going to leave, that I was being unreasonable. He was going to call the police. It was so bad to the point where he was pulling out his belt to
This
flog me.
happened, Larry. You're
In
not
Leg,
making this up.
I was crying. I didn't know what to do. It was so crazy.
No way.
Took
This
out.
happened.
He was pulling his belt that he was going to flog me for coming to collect money I'd worked for. It wasn't even
This
the
is
bonus.
unbelievable.
It wasn't even the bonus. It was just the one
Your
I've worked
own,
for.
your main
Pay me
salary
for the 2 months. That was the problem.
And this was just you, not that. Had he paid every other person?
This man threw a party, end of year party. So it's not like there's no money in the company. Even if there's no money, there's a way you would relate that to the person who's working for you. Like you see the books. There was money. I was doing the accounting, so I know there was money. I don't know if he mismanaged it, but there was money in the company. He threw a party, bought rice for set. I'm like, this is not sick. So I don't know if it was a personal thing against me, but it was serious. When he took out his belt, there were people grabbing, holding him, lever. It was a mess.
I'm sorry, but so what happened? What happened at the end of the day?
Well,
he was fired, right?
No, he was my boss.
The overall boss.
Yes. I couldn't do anything. And like it was years ago, I was obviously still very young. I couldn't even report it to the police. I was just crying and crying. Called my mom, crying, and then she was saying, just calm down.
What?
Find a way to get out there. It's more important you come with your life than, getting
So you
injured.
never got your money?
I never got my money till today. And,
Come on.
it was just crazy. I went home crying. Christmas was a crying fiesta for me. I think that's like the worst experience I've had with a boss. There are the little misunderstandings and people just making work difficult.
Yeah.
But that got physical. It was just crazy.
Larry.
Yeah, I know.
Vibe Cafe. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Vibe Cafe. We just heard Larry's horrible boss story. It is sickening. My goodness. But I'm glad. I mean, you're the boss now. You're a boss now. So
dress the part, walk the walk, talk the talk.
Hey. All right, this is a part of the show where we open our fact file. And on today's fact file, we have that 75% of people actually leave their organizations, their workplace, because of horrible bosses. This is 75%.
Yeah.
That means the remaining 25 will probably stay there just because I have to feed
just,
my family.
let me just, things
And
are
then,
hard. I need to get paid, It's crazy. I say a while back, there was this trend on Twitter, the stories I read, some of them were just horrible. Like you would hear stories of people who would go to work in a particular place and the boss would turn them to slaves. You would wash my clothes.
Come to my house during weekends.
I'm like, that is crazy. But people stay in those kind of situations. Like the story I shared, after that happened, that was the last day I went there. Because I'm like, I can't even keep working in this sort of
everybody can.
environment.
Imagine, and you came all the way from another place.
Yeah. It's crazy. So not everybody can do that. So I just even want us to talk about ways if you were to ever find yourself in a situation where you're working for a boss that was that horrible.
Yeah.
What are the best ways that you want to handle situations like that?
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're in a toxic environment, like with every other thing, if you have toxic people, you're in a toxic relationship, you want to flee ASAP.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be told. If it's not working for you, it's not working for you. That's not the only job you will have on planet Earth. You're going to work elsewhere. I think people fear that, if I leave this job, it's going to take forever. You will survive.
And especially with the Nigerian economy and everything, people get really scared about that and they just want to, let me just manage. But the truth is, if you're in an environment like that, you can't even be productive.
At all.
You can't be productive because you are constantly being held back by this boss, whatever they're doing, probably emotionally damaged. Or, there are just all sorts of difficulties that would make life hard for you.
Definitely.
So you'd go to work every morning and then you're counting down to the second when it's 5. So I know that happened to me. You're literally counting down to when it hits 5 p.m. so you can just pack your bags and go. And it's like, once you leave that environment. And then the next morning the alarm rings and you're like, oh my we're
there's
back to this.
nah,
It's
man,
crazy. It's
nah,
not a
you don't
way
want to
to
do that
live.
to
Yeah.
yourself. You
So
do
yeah,
not.
I would definitely recommend for the person to not be like me,
Please
because
don't be like
I
Lauren.
was very young and I didn't even know for something that physical I could
Yeah.
even report him to the police, because if I had done that I would be in my right to do that, because
Yes.
there were people there
Yes.
who saw him, held him back, literally dragging him so he doesn't hurt me physically.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are different. If the person is getting physical, you can also report to the police or setting authorities that can handle situations like that.
Definitely.
And just not be in an environment that doesn't feed you as a person.
He doesn't. We need to know that our bosses do not own us. Yes, there's an agreement. There's this, there's that. You sign this to be here for a certain period of time. But when push comes to shove, and to carry your bag and go, nobody's going to shoot you.
Yeah.
Leave. I'm just making emphasis on how you can just leave. Like, you have the right to actually leave an organization that does not pay you. Mentally, it's a long-term thing, though.
Yeah.
Even when you leave the place, eventually, because some of us give our time, ourselves time frame. Like, okay, I'm just going to work here for 2 years. Yeah. Even after you've done that, you've endured all the whole horrible things your boss has done to you. When you leave, it's always going to stick. Oh,
have you noticed there's
It's going to
another type
stick.
of thing that happens in workplaces with bosses that are just outrightly being horrible,
Right.
but in a sense where you can't even tell what they're doing, and that's giving you more work than you had originally signed up for.
And then,
especially
do you know
in
the
Nigeria,
stupid excuse?
they tell you, oh, you're applying for this job to
Yeah.
be an accountant,
Yeah.
and then you start working, and then all of a sudden you're the driver. You're the person who's going to get lunch. You're the person who is doing the secretary's job.
They tell
You're
you that.
also cleaning.
That is how you get promoted. That's what they tell you. It's
I feel like
taking
that's-
on all this extra, that you get promoted.
And you don't get incentives for those things.
no, you
It's
don't.
not like they're saying would add to your salary or you get extra money. You're just doing it.
doing it
It's
for free.
just crazy.
Now that's
modern day slavery is what I call
tell
it.
you. Now, at the end of the day, and the most important thing is when you find yourself in an organization where your boss is nothing close to being human, please run away. Like, you have every right to run away. I mean, after collecting everything that you've been owed by any means possible, definitely leave. Now, of course, it's not just about the bosses, or rather, now the bosses can help make for a healthy environment, working environment, and there are ways to do that. Some bosses do not know this, so let's quickly just talk about this for a bit, like ways bosses can help with their staff welfare and well-being.
Okay,
entirely.
so personally for me, it's not even that deep. It's as simple as showing appreciation. When someone works for you, just show them that you recognize, you see what they're doing, right? Because there are some people that just, they criticize everything, but when you do something good, they would never come out and say, oh, this thing you did, I like it. And I think that is a very big problem in workplaces. When you encourage people who work for you, they're even motivated to doing more and get better, because everybody wants to be appreciated and celebrated, right? So I think that's as easy as it is, right?
Yes, it is.
So there is this thing that I learned a while back, which is always appreciate, commend people before you criticize. So even if they did something bad and you want to caution them, definitely not everything is bad. So okay, I really like this thing you did. This thing is really good, but how about we do this way instead of just having it that way? That way they don't feel like you're attacking them or you're just being mean, and then they can take the correction without being defensive as well. So it's as simple as appreciating them.
Okay, so saying that now, I'm like, okay, sometimes people feel too entitled.
Okay.
Do you understand? Like, employees now feel too entitled. I used to see or assume that the workplace is like my second home. I don't care. People don't like people at the office and whatnot, but I love to work in a place where everyone is like family. I can call you up after work, like we're just so I think there's a way the people that you employ, right? Don't just employ somebody because they have that certificate. He might be too proud, to bend, not necessarily bend the rules now. He might be too proud to assist the next person. You want to employ people that have in their mind the they are humble enough to help other people in their areas. Yes, like you said, don't make me work as your gates man when I'm just here to do accounting work, right? But at the end of the day, and last, you have to help the next person. So I think who the bosses employ matters as well. You don't want to
That's
employ
definitely true. I'm not.
someone just because, oh, this person said I should employ the person. No, make sure it's someone that can work with the other people that are existing in
Right.
the organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also just little things, birthdays, remembering those and
Mm.
saying happy birthday, just
Making
little
them
things.
feel
It's not
important.
that
Yes,
deep.
it's
It's
not.
not
It's
that
not.
serious.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to make the people or people working for you
Mm.
work overtime, you want to put that into consideration. Are you
Mm.
going to pay them?
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to work from 9
Mm-hmm.
to 5.
Mm-hmm.
You're making them work weekends. You're making them work more than they're supposed to.
Yeah.
You are going to make provisions for that. Like, it's very basic things that people don't do. I hope you learned something from this conversation. Don't go anywhere. There's still so much in
So
store
much.
for you when we go on the break. And then back, we have this amazing movie that we are going to be reviewing and also games that we would be playing. So don't go anywhere. This is Vibe Cafe.
Uche, let him be teaching to be light on his feet. Move it around, move it around. Yeah, take him to the ropes. Let him box his way out. Yeah. Honey. No! I need the animal. Baba.
Welcome back. This is the part of the show where we get to review a movie. Today's movie is actually a lovely movie. I struggled with that one there, Larian, because I wasn't sure. I'm particular about the message you pass in your movie. This
Okay.
one had a message,
Okay.
indeed, a great message about parenting, and how when you do not have both parents, it kind of affects the child. Do you
So the name of
understand?
the movie is Gone.
Gone. Yes.
And it's drama.
It
Please
is.
tell me more.
So Sam Dede, he's the one who was gone,
Okay.
right? I mean, he had his family, but he was a boxer. He's a boxer, and then he disappeared because he got like a bigger offer abroad in New York, and left his wife with a small child, a baby, and pregnant.
Okay.
Right? So he goes there hoping to come back after 7 years, but he does not, until after 25 years. He struggled
So the child
there.
is a man.
Yes, the child
Wow.
became a man, and it was you get the girl grew up without a father. It was just a confusing, growing up situation for them. The guy didn't have much to do. Like, it just affects you when you do not have a father figure or a mother figure, as the case may be. It's just important to have both kids, both parents rather. Anyways, they eventually get to meet their father. The boy met his father before the mother even knew that the father was back in town, back in the country, back in Nigeria. He went to this boxing place. He wanted to become a boxer, not knowing that the person who was tutoring him was his dad. The man didn't tell him. He wanted to, but he was holding back. He felt this is not the right time. And people do that a lot. Oh, this is not the right time. Just say it as it's happening, as just tell the person. But he doesn't, eventually he gets to meet his wife and the daughter, and the woman tells the story of how she abandoned him. In the children
Don't
actually
give spoilers.
I won't. I won't. It was an interesting story, and it's because I have seen people who have actually been in broken homes,
It's
been from
relatable,
broken homes,
yeah.
and how it affects them, like when their relationship with people and even themselves. It's like they live this carefree life because nobody holds them accountable, especially the dad. Like, he has that stronger hold on a child growing up. The dads usually do. There's some moms that are like that. I mean, shout out to our mothers. I'm not going to take credit away from you, but give you more even. But yeah, there's this hold a dad has on the child, and when you do not have it, you find such children misbehave, such children not know how to completely love and allow themselves be loved, such children not being able to find and stand their ground in society and whatnot. Like they are the ones on the street, they are the ones, not all of them now. There's some people that make a name for themselves regardless, but most people struggle with that. Maybe eventually they become that somebody, but it's a struggle for some.
Okay, so basically that's what the plot is all about.
Yes, it was all
on a
about
scale
that.
of 1 to, because you sound like you really are into
See,
it.
I usually would not watch such a movie.
Okay.
I skipped some of the parts because obviously they would always show unnecessary scenes. Like,
So
I
it's a
don't need to do
Nollywood,
this.
it's a Nigerian
Nigerian
film.
film. Yes, definitely a Nigerian film. Definitely some scenes were not important. 2 hours of the movie.
Yeah,
so I had
it
to
just
skip
like
a
some of the
bit.
dialogue, I feel like they could have avoided. Like it's not really, it's not helping the story.
Yeah.
There were parts where you are, thinking about what happened in the past. You're telling me the story and you're showing me at the
There
same.
was no need for
Either
that.
tell me or show me. You don't have to do both. I'm not
Yeah,
dumb,
yeah.
So there were parts that I felt like were unnecessary.
So did I.
Also dramatized is one problem that I have with most Nollywood films. It's like, see the way we're having a conversation,
Yeah.
it's normal. But if you want to act it, you talk like this. Like it's not that way. There was this particular character that was apparently a Bielsan.
Yeah.
He was playing the role of a Bielsan, and
He was
the
speaking-
Bielsan accent. As a Bielsan, I was offended. I'm like, that's not how we talk.
I mean, you should talk normally.
It was just unnecessary.
It was,
But yeah,
it was.
overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would
6.
you rate them? 6.
A 6. I'll give it a 6.
I'll give it a 4 because of that Bielsan accent thing.
Really? You're taking it personal now.
Yes.
But that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
you can definitely go check the movie out for yourself and decide if you like it just as much as Tara did, or if you're with me and not feeling it at all. We'll go on a quick break. When we get back, we have a really, really interesting game that we're going to be playing
interesting.
on the show. So don't go anywhere. This is Vibe Cafe. Welcome back to Vibe Cafe. This is my favorite part of the show because every time I whoop Tara.
No.
Yes, I do.
No.
I do. Yes.
I have
and
records of the games we've played.
like,
Lauren,
yeah.
I have.
today we are going to
Okay.
be playing a game called Last Word. The rules are pretty simple. We're going to make sentences, and then the other person will start their sentence from my last word, right? That's pretty much how it goes.
This
Are you
is
ready?
Funny.
It's not.
It's a funny game.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to say,
Say what?
what are you talking about?
About the time we had dinner.
Dinner is just disgusting. Sometimes I just want breakfast, but it's just crazy because people get me mad.
Mad about what?
What are you saying? You're not
Saying
making
what you're saying. Okay. So this is boy I like.
I did not say so. You failed.
I
Tara.
did?
You started your sentence with so. I didn't say so. My last word wasn't so.
Okay.
It was sense. Yeah. I said I was going to trash you,
Is this
right?
how the game ends?
No.
Okay, we're still
we'll
playing.
go again.
All right then.
Just let me
Round
just
one.
give you one
Round
more
one.
chance, right? Okay, so the phrase is, how old are you?
You are so beautiful.
Beautiful like the birds in the sky.
Sky above the water.
Water and wine.
Wine and bread.
Bread is just so delicious.
Delicious meals every time. I love.
Loving, delicious.
Got you, and I'm happy. One last round, baby girl. Let's
Lauren,
do this.
bring this home. Bring this home. Okay.
Bring it home.
So you go.
My phone case is red, and I love it.
It is disgusting. What do you mean?
Mean? How do you begin a sentence with mean? Mean what? I give it to you. 2-1. I said it was going to be a funny game
I
because
said I was
my
going to whoop
goodness.
her.
But I mean, funny and interesting as always. It was fun doing this with you again, Larry. Thank
Yes.
you.
And thank you for watching. Please do this again at the same time next week. Until then, please follow us on all social media platforms at Vibecafe Show. Follow me at Larry, Nick, and Tara.
_TTARRA.
We'll catch you later. Bye.